We begin with breaking news. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney. Tonight, the FBI releasing new photos and video that is being shared around the world right now, showing a masked person you see there on your screen with what appears to be a gun at Nancy Guthrie's front door at her home the night of her disappearance. And they are now asking the public to look closely and come forward immediately if they have any information to help in the case. Once again, we are bringing you team coverage tonight with News 4 Tucson's Monica Garcia and Jacob Owens. Let's get right to Monica live from Nancy Guthrie's house with the latest on the frantic search for Nancy. And Monica, what do we know right now about this latest release by the FBI and this break in the case?
I mean, Sean, this is a significant step forward in this investigation. I mean, it's hard to believe all the days that we've been right across the street from Nancy Guthrie's house to see the video, to see those images, and to process the fact that a person could walk up to that door and do whatever it is they did to Nancy Guthrie with the intent, obviously, that they had her address. They had the tools they needed to inflict harm. Now, I can tell you that right now, law enforcement, they're using these images and they're canvassing multiple locations across Tucson, following up on new leads. So let's go ahead and show you that video. It's chilling, but it is a big piece of the puzzle. Investigators say that has been missing. Early in the investigation, the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department told us the cameras outside Nancy Guthrie's home were not backed up. Well, now we see they put the work in and they were able to get it thanks to help from tech companies. Now take a good look at the video. The video appearing to show this person dressed in long sleeves. They have some sort of like khaki pants or dress pants, sneakers, gloves, possibly wearing two sets of gloves because of the thickness, and carrying that backpack. And at least one clip, investigators say a holstered gun is visible at the person's waist. You can see that person in that video you just saw. They walked up to the front archway, tampering with the doorbell camera, reaching towards the lens, using possibly plants to block the camera's view. And they do say that that person does keep their head tilted downward initially, possibly knowing that there was a camera in place and avoiding trying to be identified. And many have asked why it's taken 10 days for those images you see on your screen to be released. According to NBC News, it came after help from private sector and that does take time. Investigators are urging, and let's go ahead and take a look at that chopper video we have now, as investigators are urging businesses and homeowners with cameras to review their footage. Now that we have this brand new piece of information, it's time now to take a look back through our own cameras, through business cameras, to see if they recognize anyone, especially wearing that jacket. Even if they're not wearing a ski mask, they're wearing a distinct jacket. Maybe they're holding a backpack. Authorities now believe these images could help someone out there, and our Tucson community recognizes this person. And this really was that entire 10-day process, Sean, that led us to this point, to the point where we have this great piece of the puzzle, new piece of information that we can finally get some answers, and we can narrow down that timeline to hopefully find the person who was on that front porch right behind me 10 days ago. Live in the foothills, I'm Monica Garcia. Sean, back to you.
All right, just incredible, that video and also those images as the information is coming in fast and furious right now. A lot going on, a lot of activity across the city, and today a massive law enforcement presence took to the streets in the neighborhood where one of Nancy Guthrie's daughters, Annie, lives. Now, News 4 Tucson's Jacob Owens has spent the afternoon there as activity has continued into this evening hours. What's happening there now, Jacob?
Yeah, Sean, when we last spoke, it really wasn't clear if there were still law enforcement officials going door to door in this neighborhood of Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Annie. And then around 4:30 this evening, we saw that they still had more neighbors to talk to. It actually happened right in front of me here at a residence. Saw two officials, one of them with FBI on his back, and they were just talking to, once again, someone who lives in the area, asking if they can look around. In this case, it was on the front of their property. Why am I standing where I am, Sean? Well, let's show you a video from earlier today. So neighbors I've spoken with have declined on-camera interviews, but several agreed to talk and repeatedly told me law enforcement has been asking them if they can look around. Searches included front yards, as I said, the surrounding desert areas near homes, and one neighbor even told me they were interested in her sheds. Several people in the area also say some homeowners were being asked about cameras, if they have any and if they had captured anything. What you're about to hear is what one neighbor told me officials told him this afternoon.
I believe they said in case someone was tossing a camera from a car window, we're looking throughout the whole neighborhood.
Sean, the Pima County Sheriff's Department did warn this week that there would be continued investigative activity going into today as that search expands. We did reach out to the FBI, though. There was all this presence. We saw FBI officials here asking, can you give us any more details, essentially. We heard back, and I'll read it for you here. This is from Connor Hagan. He's an FBI public affairs officer, and he tells me via email, the FBI continues to canvass the area and follow up on all leads and tips we are receiving from the public. Reporting live on the Northwest Side, Jacob Owens, News 4 Tucson.
All right, thank you, Jacob. It is very clear they are combing through all of these different scenes, not wanting to miss a certain detail or anything that might be important to this case. And that includes a lot of anonymous tips that have been coming in on the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. They continue to come in through 88 Crime as well here in southern Arizona. And those tips can sometimes be critical information for investigators. News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink is live at the Pima County Sheriff's Department to continue our team coverage with more on that activity and as well as some other activity happening at headquarters there today. Eric, what can you tell us tonight?
Sean, in the last few minutes, we learned that more than 1,000 tips in the Nancy Guthrie case have come through 88 Crime, the anonymous tip line that may prove a key asset for investigators. 88 Crime, Southern Arizona, is offering a $2,500 reward for information leading to the arrest of the person or persons involved in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. They typically get 250 calls a month, but Nancy's case has led to more than 1,000 in just 10 days. We spoke to 88 Crime Southern Arizona Program Director James Allerton this afternoon about the importance of this anonymous tip line in this investigation.
It may only take one tip to open up this case. As with any criminal investigation, the right tip could make a big difference. We very much hope that someone will have some new information for the investigation. We know that our law enforcement partners are doing absolutely everything they can to come to a successful resolution, and we want to support them in any way we can.
Every tip that comes through 88 Crime gets shared with the Sheriff's Department here so that investigators and detectives can work to find new leads. We're live tonight at PCSD headquarters on the south side. I'm Eric Fink, News 4, Tucson.
And as we've mentioned before, 88 Crime offering a $2,500 reward. Also, the FBI offering $50,000 for information leading to an arrest and solving this case. And they are still looking for any tips or leads that you might have to help in the search. If you have any information, you're asked to call the FBI. And you see that number right there on your screen. It is 1-800-CALL-FBI. For our continuing coverage on the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie, be sure and stay with News 4 Tucson on air on all of our social media platforms and our website, KVOA.com/Nancy Guthrie.